Dude, did you know you can subscribe to onlywrestlers.com and keep in touch with your favorite wrestlers? The party never has to end.
This week's episode of One of a Kind with RVD is presented by Get Blitzed, and you can get 15% off your order when you head to get-blitz.com and use promo code RVD. Get 15% off.
One of a Kind with Rob Van Dam is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
I feel like this could be like a pretty deep conversation, okay? Because let's try to break down what the meat is of everything that he said. Drew McIntyre.
Yes, I have the clip, so we can play the clip. Do you want to? I have his whole comments on here. So
okay, cool. Yeah, let's watch the clip. I saw this when I woke up and saw he's making the news. He got a lot of attention for this.
Yeah, big time. All right, guys, here it is. This is from Busted Open. It was their holiday special, I think it was called, but here it is right here. Drew McIntyre wins an award. Bully Ray's on there. We got Mark Henry and we got Dave LaGreca and Tommy Dreamer there too. So here it is.
Mark Henry, leave my dick alone, dude.
Carved out a path based on your opinion of what things should be and sticking to that. How does it feel to make other people follow suit, like you said? You see other people following suit.
And it's good. It's good for the industry. It's good for everybody. And if I felt the same way I felt a few months ago, I'd be really happy. You know, I've always given to this industry, probably too much, and I never really feel like I got too much back, and I would be over the moon if I felt like people were following suit and it was going to be good for industry in the future. And to be completely honest, after Hell in the Cell, I went back home. A close family member died. I don't care about the staples in my head, all that shit. Like, I can get over injuries. I've showed up with broken bones. I never told the office and worked right through it. But I've never had true time at home ever in 17 years. I've only ever been home when there's a wrestling show. I've missed weddings, birthdays, some funerals I should have been at just for this industry. My mum passed. I went home for a couple of weeks. I was straight back at work. I never truly dealt with it. And then going home this time and spending real time with my family, I realized I might have made a mistake. I've given and given and given and given to this industry, and it's taken and taken and taken from my real family, and I'm trying to keep it together. I respect everybody sitting with me right now. But as much as we're on the road, we call each other family. That's a matter of convenience. I was with my real family, and when I was gone for that 3 months, I can count on pretty much one finger how many people checked in, like, how you doing, Drew? And it really opened my eyes. What's going on around here. I tried to stay away from the social media and the likes. Obviously, I'll be back ripping people, being myself, but I see things like someone cuts a 1 minute promo and, that's the best promo of the year, or what have you done for me lately? The same old crap. And it occurred to me, like, why are we placating so much to the smart marks, to the internet fans? When did things change? And I realized it wasn't like when we started together. I was a young kid. It's when we started letting the marks in the locker room. And it's really getting to me, and I hate to say this, I gave and gave and gave. And as far as in wrestling on TV is concerned, I'm going to take and take and take. Like, tomorrow morning, I'm still going to be out there helping the homeless, things that really mean something to me. But when it comes to Drew McIntyre on TV, Drew McIntyre in general, I really hate to say this because I didn't believe it till the past, until I saw the proof right in front of my face, the lack of contact, and the look in my family's face, and realizing everything that I've missed, that I'm just going to take from now on. I mean, I'll leave this industry. I won't be one of those guys when I was a kid in the locker room during the Indies, so we're just chasing that last paycheck, just chasing that last shot of glory. Please remember me. When I leave, when I retire, I'll have accomplished everything. And it doesn't matter if you're Mark Henry, Bully Ray, Tommy Dreamer, Drew McIntyre, Stone Cold Steve Austin. When you're gone, they move on, they forget, and it sucks, but it's true. So as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the internet, I don't give a fuck about your opinion.
Boom.
Boom.
Mic drop.
Heck yeah.
Pretty heavy, right? Pretty heavy, right?
Heavy duty stuff.
Is it a shoot?
Yeah.
I think blended for sure. It's definitely because I've heard Drew talk about this in previous articles months before about like how he misses his family and certain things like that, and how that really does affect him being away. And
Yeah.
so, but at the same time, I think he's leaning into the aspect that he is a heel, and he's digging into the ardent fan base. And so I think he's walking that fine, awesome balance where it is like he's speaking truth about it all, and it's like a hard truth about the industry. And so, yeah, I was excited to hear your perspective on this, Rob, and Katie too.
I feel like this could be like a pretty deep conversation, okay? Because like, let's try to break down what the meat is of everything that he said. In other words, if there's a point and we had to put it in just as few words as possible, I think that he's saying that he gave up time that he'll never get back with his real family for the job. And he maybe was a little too gullible in buying into the road family philosophy and got his feelings hurt when he found out that that's not your real family, right? I mean, is that basically like what you got out of it?
That's what I got out of it too, is that he was like, yeah, there's that facade of, hey, we're a family, like we're on the road together. We're we're road wives or whatever too on the stuff. But now, like when it boils down to it, when I'm home, people aren't checking up on me. You maybe get a few friends in the business, but ultimately your family is your family. And that's what I was gathering from it too.
So that's pretty heavy, and I definitely want to talk on that for a minute. They do sell themselves as your family, the wrestling business in WWE, that, hey, welcome home, back to your family. And it kind of is, but there's a big difference between a working family and real family. What it seems like Drew is awakening to, I learned a long time ago, and I can, I was a little bit surprised, when I was in WWE, you do make some real friends, possibly, some of the work friends can become some of your real friends, and you could form a bond and stay in touch and all that. But the wrestling business is a very look out for yourself, individual pathway kind of industry. It really is for the most part. And because of that, a lot of times, like when I left WWE myself in 2007, I guess it was, I was a little surprised when they would come to town and nobody would call me.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody, like, they know I live here. And then I'd be like, well, they're working, and then maybe they're tired, or maybe they're going out. They already got planned. Whatever it was, like a little bit. I remember when I first started feeling that in my heart, a little bit, like they don't give a fuck, what? But I'm guilty of it too, though. And so looking at it that way, it's like I have to say I get it. How many times, when I was in Battle Creek a couple of years ago, how many people did I not contact? I didn't think about it. Was too busy, whatever reason. And a lot of times I would do that. I go in and out of town, and then I'm like, oh, I forgot so-and-so lives there. Fuck, I should have invited him to the show. But the reason that I'm pointing out how self-agended this career is because I got to word this carefully, because I know I'm going to get heat for this. This is one of the things, my unconventional ideas that I know not everyone is going to look at it this way. So how the Army, anyone that's in the service, they all day when they're wearing the outfit, or someone finds out, oh, really? What branch were you in? Oh, the Army. What does everybody always say?
Thank you for your service.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like those guys can convince themselves, they can get used to hearing that so much to where they feel entitled to it, and maybe even convince themselves that that was a big sacrifice for them to join the army for all these other people's freedoms. And it is a part of it. But if they're being really honest with themselves, a lot of them didn't do it just for that reason. You know, they did it to give themselves a better life. Can you hang with me on that?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. Sure.
So with wrestling, same thing. You know, a lot of times fans will say to me, "Hey man, I really appreciate you, sacrificing your body for all of us fans, and means a lot." And I take it as a compliment, and I love to hear it, and I understand what they mean. But at the same time, the other side of that is when I was 17, 18, saying I'm going to be a professional wrestler, was I doing that to give myself a better life, to follow dreams I wanted to do that and excite people? Or was it for the entertainment of others because I wanted them to have a good time?
Yeah, no, it was more for you. Yeah, right.
But it is part of it. So the more, that you think about it, you know what? Let me ask you this. Is showing off, is that selfish, or is that to entertain others? Boom. It's a tough one, right?
Yeah, I think it's
So that's really like what I wanted to wrestle for, was to show off. It's fun showing off because of the reaction that you get for it. When you're a kid, maybe it's goofing off, whatever you got to do to get attention. But so that is definitely part of the formula. And so, when they want to express from their perspective how thankful they are, it's not out of place at all. But at the same time, sometimes I like to separate my ego that would just say, give it to me, I deserve this compliment, and set that aside, and then say, hey man, that's just a fucking bonus. That's just a bonus that I helped you get through your hard times in the hospital when you were laid up, and you'd watch me, and it gave you the strength. And you know what? I fucking love that my image did that for you. But if I'm going to stand on a podium and say I sacrificed for them, then I just think it's worth a little conversation, a little debate. And I think that we could all say, yeah, we sacrificed for the fans for sure. But at the same time, what are we sacrificing from? In other words, let me say it like this. Here's a fan talking, hey Rob, I really appreciate that you sacrificed your life for me, and beat your body up and went out there on the road night after night. I'm glad. I just want you to know that I appreciate that you did that for me. Cool. Cause that is part of why I do it. But at the same time, I'm losing my train of thought. Fuck. God damn it. Give me a minute.
Yep.
What am I sacrificing from? Hey, Rob, man, you could have had a normal life in a cubicle in an office like all of us people, but instead you gave that up. You could have had a wife and 8 screaming kids and be bitching about trying to come up with mortgage and the gas prices going up, but you gave that up for me, and instead dedicated your life towards entertaining me. Thank you. Can you see that side of it? Like, yeah, okay, it's a rough life, but I chose to do it. But that's because it was a better choice for me. I didn't want the conventional life. So you get that too, right? So I'm just saying, if you roll back the entitlement a little bit and can open your mind up enough to see it from that wider view, and there's different angles to look at it. Drew learned, just like all of us, that you can't be in two places at one time. So he chose, just like we all did, to do the job, go to work. But the reason was because that's going to give you a better life overall.
Right. And Rob, I think it's the aspect of getting into the pro wrestling business. I think it would be super really forward thinking if you're a young person wanting to be a wrestler, being like, well, I want to sacrifice my body for the fans, and I want to make sure that I'm doing it and like giving them the entertainment because they're working.
It would take a really selfless person that,
Very
this
much
town
so.
is so depressed. This town needs something to cheer it up, man.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go out there for everybody else here.
Yeah.
I think just inherently, like something like pro wrestling, something like acting, something like that is just an inherently like kind of like you're thinking about yourself and getting yourself over.
I mean,
like,
that's part of it, and you can't. I can't ignore that part just to grab the entitlement and say and it's not that I don't appreciate their appreciation, and I do, but I'm just trying to,
right. No, but that's like an added element that comes later on.
Hope no one's offended by that. It's not that we don't care about you, but I just like to point things out from the one-of-a-kind perspective, because a lot of people probably don't look at that. And I don't want to offend people in the military, but if I say thank you for your service, I appreciate that you did that so I don't have to. But the reason you did that was because it's going to give you a better life. That's what you chose. It was exciting, adventurous, whatever, so congratulations on following your dreams that I happen to benefit from.
Well, yeah, I think and again, I think that would take a lot of forward thinking too. If somebody's going into the military being like, well, I want to sacrifice so I save all these people. And maybe that's what they
these
think
damn
about.
commies.
These damn commies. But like, and maybe some of them do think about that. But
right.
I think that when somebody says that too, thank you for your service, or somebody's like, thank you for sacrificing your time and your body in the ring for me. I think a lot of people don't think about like, oh, he did that for me, or he did it. Like, I think that's just an after effect. They appreciate that you did it anyways, even if it wasn't for that wasn't your intent. That wasn't your main intent. So I kind of think of it that way, because it's like, no, anytime when I wanted to do acting and stuff like that, I was like, oh, I want to hear the cheer and get the dopamine fix of hearing fans laugh or people laugh in the crowd.
But you also don't give up your family time for the WWE, and for the same reasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then when you feel, fucked over because you learned that they're not really your family, then, then really, what did you do? Did you give up your family life for them, or you did it for you? That was my point. I got to pee. I'm going to let her take over for a second.
Sure. Yeah, Katie, do you have some perspective on that? What do you think of that, Drew McIntyre? And I think, like I was saying too, I think he's balancing being a heel at the same time, but also like giving.
One of the first things that I learned when I joined wrestling school from my mentor Luke Hawks at Wildcat Wrestling in New Orleans, one of the first things was that when you join wrestling, wrestling comes first before anything, before your family or birthday parties, friends. Wrestling has to be your number one priority. So, and that was just on a, just starting off in wrestling. Then the type of schedule Rob used to be on with WWE is like even more so, where you're always on the road with people, and they can become your like wrestling family. Yeah. I've seen a lot of people say that too, that they, when they're like out from wrestling, they're like, and I didn't hear from one person, like not one person's hit me up since I haven't been actively on TV. But also when you're a wrestler, you're all really, really busy too.
Yeah, that's the other aspect, is like you're kind of in the mode. You're in the fast lane when it comes to all that stuff. And like if you get off on an exit, then you're not there. So
yeah.
You know,
that's why I try to text my friends when I think about them.
Yeah, and that's always good to do, you know?
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
it's tough to be mindful of that too when you're in the thick of the action at the same time.